In the 7th grade, I was required to go to an assembly. During this assembly, the instructor went over several different drugs and why they are bad. These drugs included marijuana. I clearly remember the speaker showing us students 2 different pictures of 2 different brains. The first was of a user and the second was of a non-user. There was a very big difference. Currently, there have been many states who have decided to legalize marijuana. Now suddenly many people are viewing marijuana in a very different light. More people are in favor of marijuana, as the cheers from the audience on the Colbert Report and The Daily Show with Jon Stewart clearly indicate whenever marijuana is mentioned. You might say that these shows are meant to be funny and not to be taken seriously, but they show the reactions of the increasing amount of people who are now embracing this new marijuana trend. According to Fox News, Denver, Colorado has currently attracted more people than any other place in America, and it does not look like this will change anytime soon. After hearing all these startling facts, I began to wonder if the speaker at the assembly I went to did not fully understand the circumstances surrounding marijuana that we now face. I began to watch the news and pay close attention whenever marijuana was being addressed. I have heard both sides of the argument why it should and should not be legalized, and I have come to my own conclusion that marijuana should not be legalized for 3 different reasons. First, because marijuana is dangerous. Second, because marijuana will be easier for children to access. And third, because marijuana does cause brain damage. I believe that marijuana will only cause the United States more misery for these 3 reasons. First, because marijuana is dangerous. Not too long ago, there were posters all around the Super Bowl saying that marijuana is the safer choice among football and alcohol. I believe this is a very dangerous message to be passing around, especially when there is a variety of people, including children, who attend the Super Bowl. Obviously, to say that marijuana is safer than football can cause many children confusion, since football is a form of exercise and something that many high school children do. Also, exercise is considered a better alternative than video games. Do we, as a society, believe that marijuana truly is safer than football? And also, do we really want our children thinking it is? Along with that, does it really matter if a drug is considered safer than alcohol? Does that have anything to do with it being legalized? If it is, I didn't know that was a prerequisite. As a website called Town Hall explains, quote, "It suffices to say here that justifying the use of one drug because it's not so dangerous as another is weak reasoning in any book, and bad grounds for justifying the use of any of them." Unquote. Marijuana is a drug, and like any other drug, it can cause harm to anyone who uses it. Along those lines, marijuana does affect the body in negative ways. On a website called How Science Works, they go over how marijuana affects the body. To sum up, the chemical THC in marijuana affects a person's memory and ability to learn. These 2 side effects can really affect a person's ability to sustain a job and to perform well at that job. Also, there is a myth that marijuana is not addictive. This is wrong, as the website drugabuse.gov confirms, quote, "Contrary to common belief, marijuana is addictive," unquote. This idea that marijuana is not addictive only adds to the problem. There are many people who are unaware of the dangers of marijuana and how it can affect their lives. Also, on Fox News, they gave a statistic that 1 in 6 are addicted to marijuana currently. They predict the numbers will change to 3 in 6. Marijuana is like any other drug, and it's dangerous. We should not promote it by legalizing it. The second reason is because more children will be able to get their hands on it. If parents have more access to a drug, it only makes logical sense that children will also too. The reality is that the more a drug is at home, the more likely a child will be able to get it, and if they can't get it at home, they might be able to get it at school. Marijuana is a business, and like any other business, it's about money. There will always be people who will be willing to sell to minors for money, which happens all the time as we see currently. This is unfortunate, but ultimately true. Also, there's a device that allows a user to light up marijuana without smoke. They call them vapor pens, and the plastic melts so that there's no smell and the user can smoke at any place, even at school. A blog by Michelle Roberts reported on this subject, talking about a principal who's warning other school principals on this issue. The principal showed one of the pens, which he took from a student, and how it can be used in school. If other states begin to legalize marijuana, the situation will only get worse. So why does it matter if a child is using drugs? What does age have to do with anything? Because a child is not fully developed, the effects of drugs are more harmful, as it says on the website called drugabuse.gov. Quote, a recent study of marijuana users who began using in adolescence revealed substantially reduced cognitivity among brain areas responsible for learning and memory. Unquote. The legalization of marijuana might affect the children in this country more than anyone else. And my third and final reason is because marijuana does cause brain damage. When I was looking on Facebook at a post by one of my friends who posted their opinion on marijuana, my friend's opinion was obviously against it. A different person saw this post and decided to enlighten everybody on the matter by posting underneath, quote, LOL, marijuana does not kill brain cells, unquote. I was slightly shocked at this post and decided to do some research. I found that marijuana affects a person's mental capacity right away, as website Town Hall explains, quote, a recent study published in the British Medical Journal shows that marijuana users who drive within 3 hours of smoking nearly doubled their chances of causing a crash compared with sober drivers, unquote. This disturbing fact not only proves that marijuana can affect the brain quickly, but also that marijuana is not safer than alcohol as many people might believe. We already have such a huge problem with drunk driving in this country. Do we really want to add marijuana to it? Also, I found more information on the effects of marijuana. Again, from How Science Works, the THC in marijuana affects the brain by hampering short-term memory, coordination, learning, and problem solving. With these problems, it can cause a person not to be able to hold a job, and they will become dependent upon the government to sustain them. In conclusion, I would like you to not just listen to what I have said today, but to do your own research and to figure out what you believe. I believe that this country, if we go down this road, it will only cause more problems and more misery. Thank you for your time.